Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today is another episode of Beauty and the Bibliophile. Today we're going to be talking about Then She Was Gone. I had it pulled up and I'm not prepared. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell and narrated by Helen Duff. So this was an audiobook that I picked up because it was the Audible deal of the day, which they put up every day. If you like audiobooks, you should definitely go sign up, go to their website, audible.com, and sign up for their daily deals, and they'll send you in your email what the daily deal of the day is. And it's just a great way to get books at a cheaper price. Sometimes they're as low as like 99 cents. I think this one was $3, like $2.95. I don't usually use my credits on these books because they're so inexpensive. Like the daily deals are so inexpensive. I don't like using my credits, but you can use your credits. But when there's a daily deal that I like, I get super excited, or that sounds good, I get super excited because that's like an extra book for me. But I haven't really been doing good in the whole book department this past month of October. I don't know, I just kind of got out of it. I've been like listening to podcasts. I just like podcasting it up. But when I saw this book, it kind of made me want to get back into listening to books as well as picking up on my reading. I'm almost done with Shot in the Dark by Cleo Coyle. It's a cozy mystery, so I'll probably be talking about that next. And then I want to jump back into You, which I started reading like about probably a month ago. And then I started that readathon, which totally failed. I always fail these readathons. I don't even know why I do them, but totally failed it. It's just fun just to even try to do the readathons. But anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So like I said, Then She Was Gone. So this is what the cover looks like. Really pretty cover. The narration was phenomenal. The book was 10 hours and 12 minutes, which I love a good long audiobook, which I'll also talk about an audiobook that I did not finish and that I probably don't plan on finishing. I might even see if I can return it to Audible. You can return your Audible books to Audible if you find that you get something and you start listening to it and you're like, I don't like this. I've only done it one time before and they just basically gave me my credit back. So this other book, it's The Discovery of Witches, which is one of the books that I was supposed to be reading for my readathon. It was the group read, which the person that is in charge of the readathon actually picks the book. Well, she puts up a poll, but and the majority of everyone picked Discovery of Witches. I didn't pick it because it just seemed like something that I really didn't think I would be interested in. But we'll talk about that after we talk about this book. So, but anyway, today I'm just gonna, of course, as usual, just be getting ready for the day. It's super early in the morning. I'm gonna do this before I get my day started, and this is like day 3 on my hair. So. This is what day 3 usually looks like. Most of the time I like to wash my hair on day 3. But today I'm like, I don't feel like it. No. So I just put in some more dry shampoo and put it up in this like rainbow top knot. I'm not sure which you want to call those. But we're just going to roll with it. I'll wash it tomorrow or maybe tonight. We'll see. So anyway, yeah, today again, just a simple look. I'm going to be using my MAC Prep and Prime, the Radiant Rose, which I probably need to get some more on. It's feeling a little empty. For foundation, I'm going to use my MAC Studio Fix foundation. I'm in the color NW22. I'm going to be setting my MAC Radiance with It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. This is the Illumination one, just kind of give me a little glow. And we're going to be using my new NARS little palette. This is called the Orgasm palette. Orgasm Infatuation Cheek palette. I've been really enjoying this palette. The last video I put up, I talked about my Sephora, the holiday bonus event, which I picked up this palette in it because it had the Laguna bronzer, the Orgasm blush, which I absolutely love both these products. and then a new highlight, which is called the Orgasm Highlighting Blush Powder. But I'm not going to use the highlighter today. Today I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier. This is the Matte Radiance Baked Powder and Highlight. So they do have, I failed to mention in my video because I got this in my Sephora bonus event. I failed to mention that they have like 3 colors. This is the lightest one, so it's called Highlight, and then they have like 3 other shades. But I really like it because it's just very subtle and just kind of good for days like this if you like using a highlighter. Of course, we're going to tame the brows with some clear brow gel, and mascaras I'm going to use. My absolutely favorite combination right now, the Benefits Roller Lash, the Too Faced Better Than Sex, and then I cannot live without my Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. For lips, I'm going to be showing y'all a new product for lips that I've been wanting to talk about, so I'll kind of show y'all that in the end. But right now I'm going to go ahead and plump and prime my lips with my Sarah Happ stuff right here. I love this stuff, and it's kind of getting, it's looking a little low, so I might have to get another one. But this is supposed to prime your lips and just get them ready for whatever lipstick you're gonna wear. It also has a little bit of a moisturizer to it. It just kind of gives that little extra moisture. I also got my damp baby beauty blender here to put my MAC Radiance Rose on with, because that's just the best way I like to do it. I've done it with my fingers in the past, which you can do, but I just really like using my little baby beauty blenders. I think this is a must in your makeup collection, especially if you have inset eyes, kind of like I do, to really like get in there. Alright, so the book, Then She Was Gone. So the book does go back and forth between then and now, and the book is told from different kind of characters, mostly by the mother. Her name is Laurel Mack. She is the mother of the young girl that goes missing, which is Ellie Mack. Ellie Mack goes missing around the time when she's 15 years old. She has like the perfect 15-year-old life, you know, loving parents that love her. She's super smart and just a clever girl at 15 years old. She is dating what she calls at 15, I don't know if you'd call it that, but the love of your life, the love of her life at 15. She's just your all-around good girl. Like I said, super smart, clever, beautiful. So anyway, the book, kind of like I said, it goes back and forth. So the mom, I believe, starts the story off first, or maybe, I don't remember. I finished this book over the weekend. So it took me just like 3 days to finish this book, because I was really into it. But I don't remember who starts off the story, but whoever it is, I think it starts off the story with the mother, you know, talking about Ellie and how she just, you know, she's gone. So you don't know at this point like what happened. If you know, you don't know. She just talks about, you know, she's gone. Her daughter is gone. And then we switch to Ellie. So that's kind of how it all starts. You switch from Ellie to Laurel for the most part of the book. Even though Ellie is super smart and she's having a little trouble in her math, so she asks her mom for a tutor. And so her mom agrees, and this tutor starts to come over to the house. So the tutor's name is Noelle. She has a last name, but I can't remember it at this moment. It's not really important. But anyway, she becomes kind of obsessed with Ellie Mack. She calls her like her prize student. You know, she gives her gifts of just, you know, and she starts kind of being weird towards Ellie Mack. Just talking about just random things. And and then she'll kind of switch back into tutor mode. So she's a very weird woman. Ellie Mac kind of gets freaked out to the point of where she asks her mother that she doesn't want to do the tutoring anymore, but she doesn't tell her mother why. She just kind of tells her, I don't think I need it anymore. I think I'm good. I got this. I just want a dog passed in front of the window. Oh, Bella's like, what? Who is in my yard? You gonna go get him? You gonna go get it? I don't think so. What was that? You want to get out the room? I don't know what she thinks she's gonna do, but she's inside. The dog's outside. But she's like, get out of my yard. When things like that happen, like if she sees another cat, because we have, like, my brother lets his cat out every now and then. He lives next door. And a lot of times he comes in my, like, landscaping part in the front of my house. And that's where Bella's little tree is at. And that's where she usually sits while I'm in here. And she goes nuts when she sees JT. Or even if, like, dogs, every now and then we'll get a dog roam in the neighborhood and she freaks out about that. But she goes from, like, window to window. And, like, she'll just, like, thrash out the window, like, get out of my yard. She's nuts. So anyway, yeah, back to the book. Ellie Mac goes to her mom and she's like, you know, I'm good. I don't think I need this tutor anymore. She, like, wants to tell her mom that the tutor is freaking her out, but she doesn't. She just tells her mom, I got this. I just don't think I need it anymore. I just needed her just to kind of help me with a few things, but I've got it now. So her mom agrees, and she doesn't have the tutor anymore. Well, at about this point, you kind of know what's going to happen. So that's the only thing about the book. You kind of get what has happened to Ellie Mac already. You kind of figure it out already. But there's a lot more to it, which I liked. When I first started reading this early part of the book, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of know what happened. But let me finish going. Let me finish reading, because I mean, it kind of makes it obvious. The book makes it obvious, like, what happened. But you don't start getting the details of it until the latter part of the book, of course. Because the most of the book is from, like I said, it goes from Ellie to Laurel, talking about the time frame and, you know, all how it happened, when it happened, and what they both kind of went through. So you get both sides of the story. You get Ellie Mac's story, and other people pop up and, you know, tell their own story along the way. People that are kind of involved in the whole missing girl situation. So of course it's kind of played out that she ran away, but the mother doesn't think so. I didn't think so either, because she really didn't have a reason to run away. She had it very good. She loved her life. She talked about she loved her parents and, you know, her brother and her sister. You know, they fought, but she still loved them a lot, and loved her boyfriend. So why would she run away? You know, it's not made that she ran away with the boyfriend. You get that right away. She just kind of ran away on her own because, and it's kind of set up like that because later on Laurel talks about there was a break-in like 5 years after she goes missing, that there's a break-in in her house, Laurel's house, where Ellie used to live. Since then, Laurel has moved out. Her and her husband have divorced due to this whole scenario. So it goes on to talk about how Laurel tries to get her life back together. You know, she just can't cope with her missing daughter, and she just can't go on. Like, everything kind of revolves around Ellie. And she has another daughter, like I just mentioned, and she has a son. She talks a little bit about them. She cleans her daughter's house. Her other daughter's name is Hannah, and the son's name is Jake, I believe. They play minor roles in the book, but they're still a part of it. Jake is living with his girlfriend, which Laurel does not get along too well with. She feels the girlfriend is just kind of keeping him to herself kind of thing, you know, because they rarely get visits from him, or, you know, or phone calls or anything like that. As far as like Laurel goes, she barely gets visits or phone calls from her son or her daughter. She does clean her daughter's home like once a month, I believe, and she kind of like snoops around her daughter's house to see like what she's been up to and things like that. She tries to figure out if she's seeing anyone, because her and her daughter kind of like grown apart. They're not really close anymore. So she tries to figure out her daughter's life through like what's going on at her house. And she kind of comes to a conclusion that her daughter, later on in the book you get it, that her daughter is seeing someone, but I don't want to say who. They do find, early on, they do find the bones of Ellie Mack kind of scattered about throughout these woods. So they do bury these bones. So she does bury her daughter. And I think it's after this that she just kind of decides that she needs to get her life back together. So she ends up one day like going to get her hair done, and she goes to this cafe just to sit and have like tea and cake or whatever. This is English, so it's located like in London, some kind of way. The narrator is English. It seems like all these psychological type thriller books are narrated with English narrators, which I'm fine with. I love an English accent, don't get me wrong. I just think it's funny that's, you know, that's how it is. So at this cafe, she ends up meeting this guy, Floyd, and she becomes, you know, like very attracted to him. She describes him in the book. They hit it off really nicely at the cafe, and they kind of start dating, I guess, seeing each other or whatever. What I find a little weird, but after like 2 dates, she meets his daughter. I think both of them. He has 2 daughters, Sarah Jade, but she wants to be called SJ. And she's kind of like a troublemaker type girl. And then there's Poppy. Poppy is 9 years old. Sarah Jade is like 17 maybe, something like that. She despises her dad. She's, you know, she's just kind of rebellious type of child. You do get her story later on in the book, which I'm not really going to talk much about because it's very minor. But she is like a troublesome child. And then you have Poppy, who is like 9 years old. And she's very weird. She's a very weird child. She's super smart. Just very clever for her age. The dad is an English teacher. He's written, is he an English teacher or is he a math teacher? I think he's a math teacher. Yeah, he's a math teacher at like a college maybe, or a professor, maybe he was. I'm not really sure exactly what he does, but he tutors. He's written a book before in the past, which you'll get information on that. He's written a book, but he tutors Poppy. I couldn't think of her name. He tutors Poppy at home because she's like basically too smart for school. So, and she was just kind of like just not fitting in. So he decided he was just going to tutor her at school. She's super smart. She reads like 2 books a week or something like that. So yeah, I just find it that it's kind of strange that he introduces his daughters like right away, and professes his love to Laurel like very, very soon. But you'll also get that story if you read it. I really do recommend the book, even though you kind of figure out pretty much early on in the book what happened to Ellie Mack. You still don't know the extent of it until that person tells their part of the story. And then also Ellie is telling her part of the story with her kidnapper or person involved with her in her missing person kind of thing. I don't know really how to put it without giving it away. So yeah, so you get that later on in the story. You also get Floyd is going to tell his side of the story. as well, which kind of, his side of the story sort of wraps everything up. So I really liked how the author did that. Just like, first you get Laurel and Ellie telling their sides of the story until it kind of gets to Ellie's story of when it happened to her. And then you get that other person involved in her missing. You get her story coming about. And then at the very end, you get Floyd's story. And his story pretty much wraps up the book. And like I said, even though you kind of figure out who did what, you don't get the full story. You don't know why, you don't know how it happened. To me, I was still kind of wondering, before they found her bones, even after they found her bones, that she was still alive somehow, and these bones just were not hers. That's kind of how I was feeling for the longest time. But I'm not going to say any more about that, because that'll just give it away. It was very kind of, I want to call it like a lighthearted psychological thriller, if that makes any sense at all. Because it was sort of like, you got closure at the end of the book. And I don't really find that you get that a lot in these psychological thrillers. It was sort of like refreshing in the end. It was just kind of like, like everybody kind of found peace, is kind of what I'm saying. But I really thought, I enjoyed the read. The narrator was phenomenal. She did a fantastic job. And I just really like how it was all laid out, and how everybody's story just kind of came together. So yeah, I think that's probably all I'm gonna say about it. All the characters I mentioned play a part. Jake's girlfriend, her name is Blue. She's the one that Laurel doesn't really care for. She thinks that, that she's kind of like, has like taken over Jake's life and doesn't want him around his family, kind of thing. Typical kind of mother overprotecting her son, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any kids, but that's how I'm guessing it would feel to Laurel, because Jake never really comes over. He's always with Blue, but you kind of find out why as well. So Blue plays a little minor role in there. Also, Paul's girlfriend. Paul is Laurel's ex-husband, and he has a girlfriend. Her name is Bonnie. So you get a little bit of her. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the characters. Now, those characters, like Laurel's other two kids, Hannah and Jake, they don't really tell a story. Blue doesn't tell a story. Bonnie doesn't tell a story. Paul doesn't tell a story. It's basically the only ones that tell their story to make it all kind of come together are Laurel, Ellie, Noelle, and Floyd. They all tell the story of how things came about. Basically, why Ellie went missing, what took place after she went missing, and what happened to her. So yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. It was just a really good read. Or listen, I enjoyed it. I think you would enjoy it as well. If you're not that much into psychological thrillers, I would say this was sort of a light-hearted one, and I think you should give it a try. If you're interested or curious about psychological thrillers, this one is just a very light-hearted kind of book that I think everyone would enjoy, because it just, like I said, it was just kind of refreshing in the end. I felt at peace with the whole situation after I read it, and I was just like, that was a really good read. I wasn't expecting it. I honestly wasn't expecting it, because I kind of figured out what happened early on in the book. So, and that kind of like, but it kept me listening, because the stories were just so interesting, and I wanted to hear everybody's story. So that's kind of what kept me going with it, even though I kind of figured it out. But you don't figure out everything. I just want to make that clear. You don't figure out everything. You figure out, sorry, I got some mascara there. You figure out what happened and who did it. but you don't know why, and you don't know what the outcome is. And I think that's what the author was actually trying to do, just kind of trying to keep you there, so you could find out what the story was really about. So that's my take on Then She Was Gone. I really enjoyed it. I think you would enjoy it too. I highly recommend checking it out. Alright, so moving on to Discovery of Witches. I just didn't like that book at all. I have 9 hours to go. It was a 24-hour read, and it has been a grueling 24 hours, or well, however many hours I've made. Like I said, I have 9 hours left, but I don't even want to. It's basically about this witch. And don't get me wrong, I love witches and vampires and all that stuff. I've read books, those sort of like sci-fi kind of books before that I've really enjoyed. But this one, for some reason, I just didn't enjoy it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just like too drawn out. So basically, there's this witch. I forget her name. You meet her in the beginning of the book, but she's basically denying the fact that she's a witch. And she doesn't realize, basically, that she's a powerful witch. And she ends up, like, doing things unknown to her, but that other witches and warlocks or whatever cannot do. But she ends up doing them without even knowing it, just because she's that powerful of a witch. She knows she's a witch, but she's trying not to use it. She just wants to lead like a normal type of life. I believe she's a librarian, or a historical artifactual. I don't know. She's something to do with historical artifacts and history, but she spends her time at a library. So she ends up meeting this vampire. I forget his name too. Matthew, I think. Who's basically intrigued by her because she has witches and vampires and whoever have been trying to find this one book for like years, and nobody's ever been able to find it or conjure it up or whatever. Well, she ends up doing that thing. Like, she ends up like finding it, but she doesn't really know what to do with it. You know, she gets what she wants from it and then like sends it back. And she doesn't even realize like what it is. So and like I said, I have 9 hours left, and I still don't know what any of these people want with this book. Only she's been able to conjure it up, and since she's found that she has been able to do that, she hasn't been able to do it again, because she's tried. It's just so drawn out. I just like don't even know. Like I said, 9 hours left to go, and I still don't understand what this book is about. We have demons that want her in order to get to this book, vampires and all this other stuff, and she goes to live with Matthew's vampire family, and you know, things happen over there. I think like he's from France or whatever, and he's like 500 and something years old. So she finds out about his life. So there's like hours of like his life, and it's just so boring. It was just boring to me, and I don't even care. By the end of where I left off, she was kidnapped by another witch, and I don't even know why. I couldn't tell you why, and honestly, I don't care. I don't care what happens. I just really do not want to pick it back up. But she does fall in love with Matthew. Her and Matthew kind of fall in love with each other. And they start, you know, like a relationship or whatever. And I don't know. That might have been like the most interesting part to me, was the romantic interest of them two, I guess. I don't even know. I just can't do it. I just didn't like it at all. And like I said, I really don't care. I really don't care what happens in the rest of the book. So I might be too far along or to, yeah, because I don't know when I got this book, and I don't know how long you have to like have to return books to Audible. So I might not be able to return it. If that's the case, maybe one day when I'm just doing stuff around the house and I want something in my ear. But usually that's when I put podcast on. I doubt I ever finish it. I will try to send it back, but if I can't, I can't, and I'll try to finish it. I don't know, but honestly, I don't care. I don't care what happens in that book. It just did not do anything for me. All right, let's talk about this new lip. I actually have two colors. This is from Maybelline. This is the Superstay Matte Ink, and I have them in two colors. The one I'm going to use today is called Seductress, and it's just kind of like a nude shade. The shades are pretty much what's on the packaging. And I thought I'd get kind of bold, and I got this one in Ruler. So it's more of like a mauve, like a mauve type color, like a dark mauve, but it almost ends up to be a reddish type on my lips. But I'm going to be doing a tutorial and using this, so we'll save that one for then. So today I'm going to use this one, and it's called Seductress. But I really like these. Now I will tell you this, they are sticky, very, very sticky. So if you don't like that, you might want to stay away from these. That doesn't particularly bother me. It kind of used to, but since I've used these and I just really like them, it hasn't bothered me. But the color will stay on very well throughout the day. The only thing on me, I found that it wears off, of course, kind of on your inner lip. So all you gotta do is kind of touch up with it, or even if you like try to like put a balm over it, it's not gonna move. So you really kind of have to touch up if you want to go anywhere later on during the day. But it's very soft, smells really good. And I like how it has a point, so you can just kind of like fill in like a lip liner. It does take a second to start drying, and they go on really smooth. I'll bring my mirror in closer. But I've been wearing this shade like almost on a daily basis, and I've just really been enjoying them. Very pretty, just like a nude, but just sort of like a bold nude. And as it dries, it's going to get super, super sticky, but I love like the already matte look of it. You can blot it a little bit if you want to, just to kind of get the excess off, but it will eventually dry. But yeah, it is gonna feel sticky. That's the only thing. So if you don't really like sticky, maybe stay away from this product. But I've really been enjoying them. I've only worn the other one like one time, and I think I talked about it on like my my Insta story or something. But yeah, so this is what this one looks like. Like I said, it's just like sort of like a good nude for like the winter months. It's sort of like a brown nude. Like I said, I've really been enjoying these lipsticks. So that is it, y'all. Thank y'all so much for sticking around and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the book talk. Like I said, I really did enjoy this book, Then She Was Gone, by, what did I say? It was by Lisa Jewell and narrated by Helen Duff. The narration was phenomenal. 10 hours and 12 minutes. Go check it out. Of course, I'll link everything that I used today as well as the audiobook down below. And come follow me on all my social medias. I'll have all that listed down below as well. I'm mostly on Instagram. Again, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye, y'all.